There comes a moment in nearly every soul's life when the silence becomes too loud. The prayers feel unanswered, the heavens feel shut, and God feels distant. You whisper, "Are you there? Do you see me? Do you care?" But there's no voice in the wind, no sign in the sky, just silence. And it hurts, because silence doesn't feel empty, it feels like rejection. It feels like being forgotten by the very one you thought would never let you go. So you ask, why does God feel so far away? Why would he be silent when I need him the most? You're not alone in asking. You're not wrong for feeling this way. Even the strongest believers, the prophets, the saints, the poets, have cried out, "God, where are you?" David, the man after God's own heart, wrote in the Psalms, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" Jesus himself echoed that cry from the cross. This silence is ancient. This distance is familiar. But just because God feels far doesn't mean he is. Sometimes distance is not absence, and silence is not abandonment. You see, God's love is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet like a breath, still like a shadow, close like a heartbeat, even when you can't feel it. So why the silence? Sometimes it's because we've moved, not him. We've filled our world with noise, screens, schedules, distractions. We scroll more than we seek. We speak more than we listen. And the still, small voice of God is hard to hear in a world that never stops talking. But there's more to it. Sometimes the silence comes so we'll search deeper, because easy faith is shallow faith, and a love that's never tested never grows strong. When God feels silent, he may be inviting you into a deeper kind of trust, one that doesn't rely on feelings, but on faith. It's in the silence that you learn to lean not on what you see, but on what you know. It's where belief is refined not by comfort, but by courage. And yet, let's be honest, there are moments the silence feels cruel. You pray for healing, you beg for answers, you plead for comfort, and nothing changes. You wonder, is he ignoring me? Have I failed him somehow? But hear this truth. God is not punishing you with silence. He is not playing games with your heart. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are not unloved. Sometimes God is silent because he's working beneath the surface, growing things you can't yet see, preparing answers in the waiting, teaching you to walk not by sight, but by something stronger. And sometimes God is silent because he wants you to talk, not with perfect words, not with polished prayers, but with raw honesty. God, I'm angry. God, I'm lost. God, I feel nothing. He can handle all of it. He'd rather have your honest cries than your empty rituals. Think about it. When a teacher is silent during the test, it's not because they've left the room. It's because it's time for you to apply what you've already learned. God's silence doesn't mean he's gone. It might mean you're in a sacred moment, one where your roots go deeper than they ever have before, where trust is planted in places where feelings cannot follow. And remember, even in his silence, God is still speaking, in the sunrise, in the kindness of a stranger, in the peace that makes no sense, in the strength to make it through another day. He speaks in ways we overlook when we're too focused on the silence we don't understand. And one day, when the waiting is over, when the silence breaks, when the tears have passed, you'll look back and see that God was there the whole time. In the ache, in the stretch, in the space where faith was born. You'll realize the silence wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You weren't being ignored. You were being held. You weren't forgotten. You were being formed. And the God who seemed far away was closer than your breath. So, if God feels silent right now, keep talking, keep showing up, keep seeking. Even when you feel nothing, faith isn't about feelings. It's about choosing to believe when belief is hardest, because often it's in the silence that he's doing his deepest work. And when he speaks again, and he will, his voice will be clearer, because your heart has learned to listen differently. God's silence is not his absence. Sometimes it's where he draws you closer,